Hi there. Welcome back to Simple English Talk. I'm Alex, and today we're going deep into one of the most important parts of learning English, your vocabulary. If you're someone who wants to speak better English, understand more when you watch movies or read books, or simply feel more confident in conversations, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about how to improve your English vocabulary in a natural, effective, and realistic way. And not just for one day or 1 week, but in a way that truly sticks with you. You see, vocabulary isn't just about memorizing long lists of words. I think we've all tried that at some point. Maybe you've made flashcards or written down words from a textbook, and you feel great while studying. But then, a few days later, you forget most of them. That's frustrating, right? That's because learning vocabulary is not just about seeing a word once and trying to memorize it. It's about building a relationship with the word, understanding where it fits, when to use it, how it feels in real conversations. Let me give you a little story. I remember when I first started learning Spanish. I used to write down new words all the time. I had notebooks full of them. But when I actually tried to speak, my mind went blank. I realized I didn't know how to use the words, I just recognized them. That's when everything changed for me. I stopped focusing on memorizing and started focusing on using. And that's exactly what I want to help you with today. Throughout this episode, I'll be sharing my thoughts and experiences and walking you through methods that don't just help you learn new words, but actually help you remember them, and most importantly, use them confidently in your daily life. So, if you're listening while walking, driving, cooking, or even just relaxing, stay with me. We're going to talk like friends. No pressure, no stress, just a long, easy conversation about learning English vocabulary and how to make it a natural part of your everyday life. Let's begin with a question. What does vocabulary mean to you? For many people, vocabulary means knowing a lot of words, but I think it goes deeper than that. Vocabulary is like the color palette for your thoughts. The more colors you have, the more beautiful and clear your picture can be. Without the right words, you might understand things but struggle to express your feelings, opinions, or ideas. You might feel stuck. That's why improving vocabulary isn't just about sounding smart. It's about being able to express yourself, to connect with people, and to understand the world around you. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about your current vocabulary. Do you feel like it's growing? Or do you feel like you keep hearing the same words over and over again? If you feel stuck, that's okay. Many learners reach a point where they feel they're not making progress. But the good news is, once you understand how to grow your vocabulary naturally, you'll begin to notice new words everywhere. Words that make sense to you, words that you remember, and words that you actually enjoy using. And trust me, it can even become fun. We'll talk about how to make vocabulary learning a part of your daily routine without needing hours of free time. We'll talk about using stories, podcasts, TV shows, books, conversations, and even social media in a way that feeds your vocabulary without feeling like study time. You don't need to memorize a dictionary. You need to find the right words at the right time and hold on to them with practice and repetition that feels natural. Throughout this episode, I'll also give you small examples and phrases, simple sentences you can use or practice with. You can repeat them after me or write them down. You'll see how one new word can open the door to several new ideas, and how even small steps can lead to big improvements. All right, my friend, are you ready? Let's dive into the world of vocabulary, not as students, but as explorers. Because language is alive, and your English vocabulary is about to grow in ways you didn't expect. Let's keep going. One of the easiest ways to improve your vocabulary is to stay close to the words you already use every day, but upgrade them little by little. For example, maybe you always say, "very good." It works, right? Everyone understands it. But what if next time you say, "excellent," "wonderful," or "amazing"? Each of these words has a slightly different flavor, and when you start using them, even just occasionally, your vocabulary begins to stretch naturally. You don't need to throw away your basic words. Basic is good. Basic is clear. But learning a few next-level words helps your speech sound more colorful and confident. The goal isn't to sound like a dictionary. It's to sound like you, but with more tools. Now, here's something I always recommend. When you learn a new word, don't stop at just the meaning. Look at how the word is used in real life. Search for a few example sentences. Better yet, make your own. Say them out loud. It might feel a little awkward at first, but that's how your brain starts to accept the word as part of your personal language. Let's take the word curious. You probably know it means interested in learning, but think of how you can use it. I'm curious about that movie. She's curious to try new food. They asked a lot of curious questions. You see how flexible it is? If you just look at the definition, it stays in your notebook. But if you put it into your voice, your thoughts, your sentences, it becomes yours. Another tip I always love to share is this. Don't worry if you forget words. Forgetting is part of learning. Your brain needs to forget, see it again, and repeat that cycle a few times before the word sticks for good. That's not failure. That's how memory works. So instead of thinking, "oh no, I forgot that word again," you can think, "great, another chance to see it again and make it stronger in my memory." Let's talk about something a little fun. How stories help with vocabulary. Have you ever watched a movie or read a short story and suddenly noticed words you didn't even realize you knew? That's because context is a powerful teacher. When you hear a word used inside a story, you don't just learn the word, you feel it. You remember how the character said it. You remember the situation. That emotional connection helps your brain hold on to the word much longer than a flashcard ever could. That's why I always say, don't just study vocabulary, live with it. Watch shows with subtitles, read short news articles, listen to podcasts, and don't feel bad if you don't understand every single word. It's okay. Just notice the new ones. Pause and rewind sometimes. Guess the meaning before checking. That's real learning. One of my favorite things to do is keep a word journal. I don't write everything, just 2 or 3 words a day that feel useful or interesting. Then I try to use them that day, in a sentence, in my thoughts, or when I talk to someone. It feels small, but over time it builds up like a wall made of bricks. And remember, the more often you hear and use a word, the more it belongs to you. That's the key. Exposure and repetition, but with feeling. Let's take another moment to practice. I'll say a sentence, and you can repeat it with me or after me. Ready? She made a remarkable recovery after the illness. Try saying that out loud. Now try changing the sentence slightly. He did a remarkable job on the project. You see what we did there? We didn't just learn the word remarkable. we used it in two different ways. That's how your brain starts to really understand it. You can do this every day with just one word. One word, 2 or 3 sentences. Speak them, feel them, listen to them in movies or music. That's how vocabulary goes from passive to active. And if you're wondering, how many words should I learn each day? Here's my honest answer. Don't worry about the number. Focus on connection, not quantity. Some days you might come across 5 new words that really stick with you. Other days it might just be 1. That's perfectly fine. What matters is not how many words you collect, but how well you understand and use them. One strong, active word in your vocabulary is more valuable than 10 forgotten ones. Now, let's talk